You ready to take your leadership journey?
I am winning on all fronts limitlessly.
I have made tremendous improvement at work through delegating and empowering teams.
We started with the law of intentionality, which specifically makes it clear that growth cannot just happen. You have to be intentional about your growth.
CTO Africa Leadership brings you the Grow Journey, a series of masterclasses based on John C. Maxwell's book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. In this 10-week virtual growth accelerator, you will acquire the skills to thrive and flourish as you evolve into a more impactful and fulfilled individual. You will master the art of personal and professional development as you craft and execute your customized growth plan. Limited seats available. Register now for the next cohort.
Hey there, join the next cohort of CTO Ghana's growth journey.
The next cohort is coming on. Get involved and your life will never be the same.
Are you ready to take your leadership journey to the next level? On the leadership platform TLP, we don't just talk about leadership, we live it. This year, we are bringing you cutting-edge insights, transformative tools, and real-world strategies to help you lead with confidence, purpose, and impact. This year, we have 4 seasons with 50 episodes. We will dive into themes such as leading self, leading others, and leading institutions. We bring you Leaders Are Readers. This monthly session focuses on book reviews, discussions, encouraging all participants to read along with selected books on personal leadership and professional leadership. We also have a time with the CEO. In this segment, we dive into the stories of prominent CEOs who share their insights, lessons learned throughout their leadership journey. We also bring you extraordinary leadership stories, highlighting individuals in our societies who are doing extraordinary things. This segment inspires viewers with real-life examples of leadership in action. We will bring you some brilliant minds, courageous leaders changing the narrative of Africa. We also bring you finally the expert-led sessions, which cover a wide range of leadership and personal development topics, providing practical guidance and actionable strategies for personal and professional development. The leadership platform is your go-to space for personal growth, professional breakthroughs, and meaningful connections. I am Joy Bunsu-Schmutz, co-host on TLP, and I will see you every Saturday, 7 p.m. GMT, live on YouTube and Facebook.
Hello. Good evening and good evening. My name is Olayim and I'm excited to be with you. This is our best part of the week at CTL Africa, where we bring you life transforming lessons on leadership and personal development. We bring you leaders who have accomplished, who have the knowledge and experience to share with you. So you are very, very welcome to the leadership platform. The team at CTL Africa is ready to serve you this evening's dinner. Sarah is here. The rest of the team are here. Our staff for the evening is also here and ready. So if you are ready and you're connected either on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, whichever page platform you're connecting from, please go ahead and introduce yourself so that we would introduce you to the whole wide world. It is our privilege to introduce you to the world. We know that many of you who connect don't show your face, don't mention your name, and that is fine. But if you can, please go ahead and let know your name and where you are joining from. We also encourage you to share with your teams because this is to discuss an important subject that would edify not only you but your team. So matter in your life, your family, boss, your subordinates, your to join the leadership. So go ahead, let's know. I can patience. Antonio is and patience. Thank you so very, very much for joining us from East Legon Hills. I can see the Shepherd William Asumbia. I hope I pronounced it well. Big. So William, you are very, very welcome. Thank you so very much. I can see Willendor Emmanuel all the way from Tamale. Thank you so very much, Willendor, for always joining us. Great to have you. Please go ahead and share the link with your friends so that they can benefit. This evening, with a very interesting subject. My network is not doing me a lot of good. The network keeps going on and off. But we have a very interesting subject that we're going to look at: in leading with grace, balancing ambition, faith, and humanity in a modern workplace. What a very timely subject. Oprah Winfrey has said the highest form of games. Sarah, I can feel my network is playing games. I don't know if you can hear me. Let me bring you up in this. Let me get a feedback.
Yeah.
Let me get feedback from the team if my network is okay. Somehow I'm not able to bring Sarah up, but I hope that you can hear me.
We can.
Okay. Let me see if Sarah is here. The network a bit slow.
Hello, can you hear me?
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
Let me
apologies
see.
to our audience. Can you hear me?
Okay. Sarah,
can you hear me?
Can you
Hello?
hear me? My network is breaking from
I can hear you, but you cannot hear me.
Are you able to hear me? Is well?
I'm hearing you, but it's not too great.
I can hear you, Sarah. I can hear you.
Okay, the network is breaking up, so do you want me to take over?
All
Why
right.
don't I take over? And then I'll introduce Asantewaa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me hand over to Sarah so that we can have hearing. Sarah, please go ahead.
Okay.
And
All right.
let me just say, as I was saying, Wilfred Oprah says, okay, so go ahead, Sarah, and introduce Asantewaa, and then we will have a discussion.
Perfect. So welcome everyone, and I can see everyone signing in. You did mention Shepherd, and the next person on the call is her Lordship Cynthia Mattison, who says she can hear you, and she says good evening to the house. So Asantewaa will be leading us or sharing with us the topic, Leading with Grace. Asantewaa, if you will join me on the call, we'll have a little conversation and then you can take us away.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Great to have you. I believe this is the first time you're joining us, and we are so privileged to have you.
Thank you. I feel honored to be here too.
Wonderful. So, Asantewaa, I know you wear so many hats. So, let's see who is Asantewaa. I know you are a mother, you are an entrepreneur, you are a Toastmaster. What else? Tell us more professionally. Who are you?
So, on the professional level, I am a banker. I've
Okay.
been into banking for almost 18 plus years now.
Okay. Wonderful.
Mainly, most of my years spent in the retail space, but I just moved a year ago into the commercial banking space. So, we're learning every day, trying to get better.
Okay. And when we were in the green room, I heard you were going to bring to your church even the Toastmasters. Tell us a little bit about that. How is that shaping up?
It's coming up very nicely. By the grace of God, we got the club chartered, which is the first Christian club in Ghana. And by kind courtesy of one of our sponsors, don't know whether I should call him Toastmaster Yim on this call or I should call him Leader Yim. But then he birthed that dream, and then we supported to get the club chartered. So for officially, we have the first Christian Toastmasters club in Ghana. I'm proud to say that it is in my church, one club at Inzan Road Church of Christ, and we're hoping and we know that we'll birth a lot more religious clubs where we are not just doing Bible, but we're teaching leadership and communication skills as well.
Wow, that is awesome. And we really wish you all the best for this mentorship that you are leading and leading definitely with grace. So, with that said, this is a great segue for us to get into the topic for today, which is leading by grace. So let's hear from you. Mr. Yim and myself will go back into the background and please take us away as you lead by grace this evening and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Today, we will be talking about leading by grace, how we're going to balance ambition, faith, and humanity in the modern world. I'm sure all of us have had this experience where you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, it's another working day. You gradually get yourself out of bed and find your way into the office. Why? Because you're dreading whoever you're going to meet or whoever your boss is. Personally, I had that experience. And those 2 years were one of the toughest times I had to deal with emotionally because it felt I was never enough. everything that you do was being matched, and all that she was waiting for was for you to fault or find reason to blame you, even when it is not your fault. That got me to the point where I nearly ended my career in banking. And what I found very interesting was the fact that when I started having conversations with my other colleagues and friends, out of every 5 people that you talk to, you have 1 or 2 who were going through similar experiences. But come Sunday, our churches are filled with same people who I would term, for purposes or for lack of a better word, monsters at the church. And then come Monday, it's another thing altogether. So I started questioning and asking why that disparity in character, why we can't bring what we learn, whether at church or whatever religion we subscribe to, into our workplace or when we encounter people outside. Must we let people feel less of a human being to let us know that we are in charge, to let us know that we're leaders? Or can the story be different? Fast forward, after that leader of mine was transferred, I met the direct opposite of her. And interestingly, although that person made us feel like he was never around because he did not micromanage, that was when we achieved the best results ever. And that got me to start questioning and finding answers to how we can lead and lead with grace, making sure that we are not losing ourselves every day or making others lose themselves, but we rather do what leadership is supposed to do, which is to impact others who come our way. And so for the next 30 minutes, we will simply be going through how to be able to spot some of these things, the myth that we have come to believe in the corporate world, and how we can help make life better so that whoever we encounter on a daily basis feels that they have been impacted and are ready to take up the mantle of leadership or are ready to develop themselves to the highest level because we gave them reason to do so. You can only do this when you are balancing these 3 things: your ambition, which is the desire to grow; faith, whatever you believe in or whatever values you have; and simply being human, understanding the fact that as human beings, you have your strength, you have your weaknesses, you can never get it right all the time. There is more that describes us or that makes us behave the way we do than what we see. For every human being that you meet today, there is a chapter, that person is at a certain chapter of his life. As a leader, do you care to find out? Maybe that person walks to the office and is moody all the time because he or she has got problems at home. I remember my boss telling me a story of one gentleman who was never meeting his sales targets. And he kept bashing him and bashing him and bashing him. So one day, for whatever reason, on his way out of the office, he decided to go back into the gentleman's office and just say hello to him. When he got in there, he realized that the guy was very moody, and then he asked him what it was. Then he told him that he wants to quit his job because he feels he cannot continue with the sales job. His reason simply being that as hard as he pushes, he never seems to get it right because he has no peace at home or he has some challenges at home. My boss said this got him to sit with him and find out what it was. Unknown to him, the gentleman had a child with special needs, something he never spoke to anyone about. And so he was having challenges financially, he was having challenges emotionally, because the family was now getting adjusted to the changes that they needed to do because they had this child. My boss tells me that he broke down, and from that day onwards, decided to adjust the role of the gentleman appropriately so he can have time for family and also have time for the work. The new role they placed the gentleman in, he was able to perform better and is excelling. And that particular year, although he did not qualify for a bonus, he was able to go and make a justification because he knew the guy needed money to cater for certain things that ordinarily you and I won't pay for. And thankfully, the bank accepted to do that and they helped him. That, I believe, is leading by grace. Going behind the figures to see that you're dealing with human beings who may have challenges, and then you help them to be able to stand up and not lose themselves in the process. In today's world, what we call the modern hustle, we wake up every day, we're jumping around from one place to the other, and we believe that that is what a success. We're in a culture that glorifies business and titles. He is the MD, he's so and so, he is this, he is that. But this we do at the cost of our emotional and spiritual health. I have lost count of the number of colleagues I have lost on all my social networks, i.e. church, work, who, like you and I, wake up on a day, they are going about their duties. The next thing you hear, they either passed out, fell ill for a short while, and they are gone. And most of the time, the major culprit is high blood pressure. We are running around without taking care of ourselves because of the pressure to constantly prove our worth in the workplace. We are burning out every day under the disguise of we're chasing ambition, we're chasing our goals. If we don't do it today, when will we get the strength to do it? And it's that bad that sometimes, even when we're making time to rest on the weekend, we feel guilty about it. We can wake up in the morning, go to the office from morning to evening, and we won't even eat because we're moving from meeting to meeting, back to back. We're chasing customers, we're chasing targets here and there. And the same body that is doing this for us, we don't take care of it. We don't forget to join our online meetings, but we forget to even eat or drink water. Spending that 10 minutes to sit and have breakfast for most of us young leaders feels like we are sacrificing our entire world. But that is the worldly definition of success. Jumping from place to place under the disguise of ambition because we are ego-driven and we compare our goals to others without checking to see what we do on a daily basis to achieve these goals. Back to back, people are sleeping for less than 2 hours on a daily basis. And even when we have the time, the body is so exhausted that we can't even have a good night's sleep. I don't know if I'm able to see the chat if people put it up so I can engage them, or we'll have to do it at the end of it. But if you can, please drop in one word in the chat that describes how you really feel about your work right now. Here, it's a no judgment zone. Let's be vulnerable. Let's speak the truth so that we can be able to solve them. I am a banker. I know what it is.
Okay.
I just embarked on this journey to be intentional about leading with grace some few months ago because I lost a friend. And what hurt me so much was the fact that the week before she passed, we were talking about the only child that she has and the dreams that she has for that child, and how she was working very hard to ensure that she gives the child the childhood that she never had. And the following week, she gets to work, getting out of her car, she passes out, and that was it. I knew that she was juggling between so many things and so had little time for herself. Now, the reason why she was running around and was juggling a lot, she had passed away, and that dream could never be fulfilled. I don't think that is the kind of life or success we want. And it is possible to be able to do this by ensuring that we are practicing values. What values am I talking about? Values like integrity, patience, something we're missing in this age. We want everything now and now. So things that we can take a year to achieve, we are crushing it all to achieve it in 2 months, in 3 months, forgetting that we are not machines. And we lack empathy for others that we deal with. The leadership that I'm talking about is in two folds. Leadership for yourself, because you lead yourself first before you lead others. And then we come and talk about leadership for self. So for you as a human being, what values do you hold dear to? Are you living these values in your daily life? Are you ensuring that you stay true to the things that you're going to do? And you put your faith to work. When I say put your faith to work, I am not talking about preaching. You go to the office and you go and preach. No, let your standards and your life tell the story. People should be able to deal with you and say that when it comes to Leader Sam, when it comes to Asantewaa, I know that if she says it is 5, it is 5. I don't have to go and cross check because I have tested her integrity and I can vouch for it. We can also do this and make life very easy for ourselves when we put our faith to work by making sure that for every major decision that we do, we use the power of prayer. That is, if you believe in Christ like I do, if you're a Muslim, I know you also pray. For every faith that you profess to, tap into that source. Pray before you make any major decision. It saves you from a lot of trouble and a lot of stress. Because after that prayer, you are unconsciously forced to reflect and meditate before you make any big decision. And then you lead with humility. As Bible will say, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. So how you want to be treated at work, treat that colleague of yours the same way. Is he a junior, from the security man to the least person? Treat that person the same way and make sure that at the end of the day, you are showing true character and calm leadership. Calm leadership meaning that you are not one who will be shouting all over the place for people to be getting panic attacks here and there. No. Some tend to see faith as weakness, but rather it is the opposite. I'm sure all of you, most of you would know Prince Kofi Amoaben, the then CEO of UT, the defunct UT Bank. I worked under him and I saw leadership with grace. This is one man whose number one value was respect. Respect for human beings and respect for time. No one holds his bag. No one does his coffee for him. We are all different. You decide how you want to live your life. But what I mean by this is he believes that everyone must be treated the same with respect, from the security man to the highest person in there. And that is something that resonated with me, and I saw humility at work. But was he weak? No. The lines were always drawn in the office. You know the rules. He would tell you that I don't sack people, you sack yourself. Because the rules are there. If you fall out of place, you know that you are gone. But you could still go walk into a CEO's office without booking an appointment. Go and have a conversation or a discussion with him, and you leave feeling very fulfilled because you were made to feel like a valued human being. On the flip side, I know of organizations where when the CEO is in the elevator, no one goes into the elevator. But the question is, would you continue to be CEO forever? Or that seat that you're sitting on that has given you authority, and so you are lording it over people, would you be there all the time? When the tables turn, will people still want to deal with you? If the answer to that question is yes, then it means that you're doing something good and you should keep it up. But if the answer is no, or you are not sure, you may want to go and ask somebody, especially if you are having Gen Zs and Gen Alphas in your office. They come across as one group that are very blunt. You can ask them for feedback. If they will be kind enough, they will give you feedback on how you were faring. You can also use your children as examples, and they will give you the feedback for you to know whether you're leading with grace or not. And you do this by making sure that daily actions that you take are one that would help make people feel valued. And you can only do this when you're taking care of yourself. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. I have come to know myself, and I know that when I am tired, I get very grumpy, and my patience level is very short. And so these days, I'm very intentional about having time to rest so that I can be a better person when you meet me. So my patience level becomes very short if I have less sleep. And should you find me that day in the office and I ask you to do something and you don't do it, the way I may respond to you may not be appropriate. But after doing some careful research, I realized it wasn't mainly because of the people, but it was because I was pouring from an empty cup. I was tired. I didn't feel good about myself. And so I was reflecting it in my relationship with others. So start by taking care of yourself. The hours that we spend on end scrolling on social media, let's reduce it, especially if you like doing that before going to bed. It has a way of affecting your sleep quality. And if you are like me, you may end up getting very grumpy. Take time to note the times that your fuse is very short and question yourself why you behaved that way. Could you have done it better? If you had taken your time. When you do this and you get more intentional, you realize that you start getting to know yourself better and you start adjusting. And once you become aware, you can start talking to yourself and then stopping yourself whenever you are going overboard. Because you realize when you become intentional, you become aware, you realize when you're getting angry and that ugly side of yours is coming out, you can talk to yourself to calm down. And then tap into your source, which is your faith, to be able to give you strength to go through whatever you're facing. When you do this, it gives you the strength, whilst ambition will give you the speed to edge and follow your dreams. Faith will give you strength. And research and prosperity has taught us that strength is what truly wins the race and not ambition. You'll be running around, you will burn out and end the journey even before you get to the finish line. But when you have strength, you are able to go on and finish gracefully. So what do we need to do? We need to learn to be more intelligent emotionally. We need to learn about ourselves first, learn how to stay emotionally intelligent and not react to everything. A personal theory that I like using, and I'll urge all of us to look out for it, if you haven't heard it before, is the garbage truck theory, where it says that a lot of people are walking around with garbage and their garbage trucks are full. This garbage can be issues from their marriage, from school, from their upbringing. And so their garbage truck gets full. And sometimes all they are looking for is a place to dump their garbage on. You may be the one that they want to dump it on. So they come to you with certain attitudes that you cannot even explain. And that is when you have toxic colleagues or toxic people that you're dealing with. Their garbage trucks are full. They're just looking for a place to dump them. And if you allow them, they will dump it on you. But the theory will tell you that shake it off. Don't allow them to use you as their refuse dump. And so you deal with them by setting very clear boundaries. You don't take their issues personal. Anytime they behave or they start misbehaving, personally, I'll start saying it in my head. When you say it and they hear it, that one they are in trouble. So I say it to myself in my head, garbage truck. When I do that, what does it do? It makes me more conscious and realize that the way the person is behaving towards me, or those bad words the person is using to me, Asantewaa, don't take them personal. It is not about you. He is just looking for a place to dump his garbage. Are you going to allow him? And a lot of the times the answer is no. So I just move on. When I feel that I am calmer, I will come to you to come and have a discussion. But if I do that once, twice, and I realize that you are not going to change and it gets worse, I just find a way to cope with you or around you and then move on without taking anything that you do personal. Again, because we're leading with grace, we'll still show such people love, because for all you know, they've never experienced how it is to be kind to people because of their environment. And with time, most often it changes them. But if it doesn't, just say a prayer for them and wish them well in whatever they do. This shows that you can be kind and still be firm. I mentioned certain boundaries, so you don't allow them so much space into your life. But then at the end of the day, you can still be kind by saying good morning to them when you get to the office, and not saying that because the person is not nice to me, I won't talk to that person. I pray that it will never be the position of anyone on this call where we get to the extent that we have certain people in our lives that we don't talk to. Not everyone would be your friend, but please, let's be kind and nice to everyone. Sometimes just a simple good morning. I'm not saying go and stand by the person's desk and have a conversation with that person. No. You have boundaries. But then, once we're leading with grace, we are balancing faith with ambition and humanity. How does it feel when somebody walks into a room and simply decides to ignore you? Let me hear from you in the chat. It doesn't feel good. So why should we be the ones who would make someone feel that way. No matter how bad the person is, just smile and say good morning and go your way. If the person decides to respond, it's their own cup of tea. If they don't, move on. But trust me, people are watching and they will know who is the leader in that room. In a world where people are obsessed with power, showing that they are the boros, they are the ones in charge, let us gracefully show who we are, not just on Sundays, but every day of our lives. Let's be kind to people. Let's show them love. Let's make sure that we're taking care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. In all of this, this doesn't mean that forget what your personal goals are. Develop yourself, but don't do so at the expense of your soul. Don't do so at the expense of the people that you love. Where people are chasing careers so much that they become shadows in their own home. What are you chasing it for? People are losing relationships because they would throw other colleagues under the bus just to be able to win favors in the office. When you get to the top, who are you going to lead at the end of the day? People are doing all sorts of things just to get accounts, sleeping with married men here and then, doing all that. Who says you cannot stand by your values and still achieve your goals? Yes, it may take some more hard work because you're not ready to cut corners. But trust me, that hard work will stay with you forever. I have customers who move with me from every branch or department that I go to just because I have shown them that if you trust me with your money, I will do whatever it takes to safeguard it for you. That mark is the mark that we should all seek to lead with and ensure that as leaders, we're making our people feel happy. They wake up in the morning, they're excited to come to work, they're excited to give in their all because we make them feel like they're human beings. Let the Christ or the Allah or whatever we subscribe to or profess to, let people see it in our lives on a daily basis. Our interactions with them. Have you even bothered to stop and ask your security man how his weekend was, how his family is doing? Or because he shows up every morning to open the door for you, some of us don't even acknowledge them when they open the doors for us. What about that colleague in the office? Or you think you are the only one who has challenges? Everyone, it doesn't matter whether you're an authority or not. Wherever you find yourself, you are a leader, and we should make sure that we lead with grace at home, at church, at our workplaces, so that life becomes better every step of the way. We get good leaders. Today, we're hearing about Attorney General and all the stories that he's saying and everything, and it sounds very scary. But if we are all leading with grace, this won't be our story in this country. So as we have the energy to discuss our politicians, to talk about the things that they're doing wrong, trust me, our politicians are just a reflection of us. Sit and question yourself. The things that you're doing on a daily basis, should you be put in a position of power, are you sure you will not even do worse than what they're doing? It starts with the little things. So if you have not sat down to really think through what your values are, please do. Find at least 3 values that you hold very dear to yourself and start building habits around them. That is the only way when you are in a tight corner, you can be sure that you will not bend the rules. when you're sitting in a room and there's money, nobody is watching, you know very well that if you touch this money, it's going to get someone into trouble. If you have a value known as integrity, and you stand by it and you've been practicing it on a daily basis, it doesn't matter whether somebody is on your neck chasing you for their monies that you owe them. You won't touch that money because it does not belong to you. You will not throw your colleague under the bus for that position because you know that the God that you serve will not make you do this to be able to get to that role. If it's meant for you, you will get it. And with hard work and determination, you will get it. You will not move from office to office, putting heads together, talking about this, talking about that tomorrow, just because you want to win certain favors. If you're leading with grace, you would make sure that everyone that you encounter at least has reason to smile because of you. It is possible. Let us not chase ambition so much to the extent that we forget to take care of ourselves, take care of the people around us. And before we say Jack, we are stickers on walls because we are gone too soon. We are cutting our lives short because we are not taking care of ourselves. We constantly give from an empty cup. And with time, the container, which is our body, won't be able to hold us any longer. So let's lead with grace. Let's ensure that we are balancing ambition, we are balancing our faith, and we are balancing growth on a daily basis. Thank you so much. And I would encourage all of you to follow me on Facebook for more tips on how to be able to balance yourself on a daily basis. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Wow, wow, wow. Asantewaa, this really came from a lived experience. And thank you so, so much for this vulnerability and very inspiring and really pertinent. It's really pertinent to what is happening to all of us, especially in the financial world space, where you are called to really deliver meeting targets and not really finding time for self-care. You really underscored the part of first lead yourself and then lead others. Thank you so much. Sam, is your connection?
Yes. Let me
All right.
try and see. Can you hear me?
We can hear you loud and clear. It's better.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful. Thank you so very much, Asantewaa. This is amazing. This is great. My biggest takeaway is you cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to take care of yourself. But when you've taken care of yourself, you also have to take care of others, because God has put us in a place as leaders to be able to add value to others. And this is very, very, very well taken. So I guess, Gideon, if you're there, maybe we'll take a short break for Asantewaa to take some water. There's a few comments. We'll come back and we'll take them. So let's see if Gideon, you are around, or if you want.
For over a decade, CTL Africa Leadership has been more than a service provider. We are your dedicated partner in leadership growth, specializing in leadership development, corporate governance, strategy, culture, change management, and customer service. We focus on relational skills and personal growth essentials for effective and sustainable leadership. Our approach blends masterclasses, mastermind groups, gamified learning, and executive coaching to create impactful and engaging programs. Introducing our 2025 Corporate Development Catalog. For all heads of organizations and HR leaders, call us now to request your copy today and take your organization to the next level in 2025.
Great, great, great. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. There are a few people in the room. We'll go to what they're saying and then we would come back and see. I have a few questions for Asantewaa for this brilliant presentation. And I have, yes, her leadership is here. Cynthia has been introduced. Michael Kweku is here. Thank God for another Saturday. Benaye is here watching from Accra. And Shepherd Williams says, powerful. Isaac says, blessed evening. Nadine Roberts is here. Good evening from Big Adan. Hey, Nadine, what are you doing there? Vivian Ampere is here from Atimpoku. Hey, where are you guys all going to hide in those places? All right. And the leadership commenting on some of the things when you were describing what's going on in the office and our lives, says you have figured some of us out. I can imagine all the judgments she has to write and sits the whole day and all the hearing with all the machinations of all the lawyers and how she's able to figure out that. I wonder how the judges get it. But Shepherd says, very inspiring. Thank you, Mommy. And he says, amen to that. Okay, Shepherd is our best participant here. And leadership says, this is a wake-up call to the wonders within us all as Christians. God bless you, Madam. Great presentation. Richard Ansado says to you, Asantewaa, the world prefers get the results, awards, accolades, and worry about the how later. How do you reconcile this with leading with grace? Now, so that's one thing. How do we reconcile what is expected of us and leading with grace? Gabo Christopher says, awesome presentation. Thank you very much. All right. And Shepherd says again, this is glorious. Evans Ondum from Kaswa, I hear it is now Castland. And and Loretta, Dr. Loretta is giving you plenty claps. It says, well done, and I'm proud of you. Yes, we are proud of you. Vivian says, thank you. And Shepherd says, from the Upper West, Sandama, I want to be mentored by you. All right, so you have one more mentee. She's better. So let's take that question from who was
from
that?
Richard.
From Richard first. How do we reconcile? And it's very, very true that, like you described, this is what the world is looking for. And now you go and say, okay. So how do you balance the two?
All right. So I think earlier in my submission, I mentioned that we should not just be goal-driven, but we should ensure that we're making impact. What do I say by we should not be goal-driven? Or let me put it this way, we should not be comparison-driven. Don't compare your journey to someone else's journey. By all means, go in for the ultimate. But if tomorrow I wake up and a colleague of mine is being awarded for bringing in A, for bringing in B, that should urge me to be able to do better. But I should not sacrifice all the rest to sacrifice to make sure that I get there. One thing that we should be truthful to ourselves as Christians is that when we go to work, are we working? Many a times we pretend to work and our employers also pretend to pay us. But we spend so much time. If you have 8 to 5, ask yourself at the end of the day that if Christ was to judge me by the work and the energy I put in the office today, would I pass? If the answer is yes, forget about all the accolades, forget about all the titles. It will come eventually, because you cannot be truly working on daily basis and you won't get recognized. Sometimes it can be a phase where the boss who is supposed to recommend you will take the glory for all the work that you're doing. But trust me, you will get discovered along the way. Because a time will come where that boss will get exposed and everyone will know that you are the one doing the work and you get. But let's not be comparison driven. That is the challenge we're facing in this modern age. She has achieved, she is a lawyer, she has the doctor title, she's going to do A, she's going to do B, so I also want to do same. Maybe the person comes from a home where the husband is there 24/7 to give her support. And so she wakes up in the morning, she does not cook, she does not do anything. Hers is just focus on your dreams and I'll help take care of the home. Or I have house helps who would help me do that. Your story may not be the same. And so you will chase all of these because your colleagues are doing that, they're doing that. And before you say, Jack, you burnt out and you're completely gone. So run your own race. Aim for the ultimate so that when you miss, you will still get something very good. Let's be ambitious as Christians. Let's not pretend to be working. When we get to the office, let's work. Put in the needed work. And once you do that and you add faith and grace to it, I believe the accolades and the titles and the rest will come. But if they don't come, trust that when our God is delaying, He is not denying us. He is developing us for something better. A time will come, you get to sit on that seat and you look back and say that, hey, if I didn't go through this phase of my life, I am not sure I would have been able to perform the way I'm doing on this particular seat. So when you have that at the back of your mind and you feel that your success, your things are delaying, know that our God never delays. He will be developing you for something better. And once you run your own race and your competition is with yourself and the people that you hold dear to, which in this case will be your values and your faith, I know that you will succeed. And so to Richard, who happens to be my senior brother, balance that with faith. Don't compare yourself to others. Run your own race because their story, as we say in our local language, and show biasa na wasa wodie. Don't watch the dance of someone and dance. They may be listening to some different music whilst you are hearing something different. Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Sarah.
Yeah, Asantewaa, I
What's
have.
yours now?
Yes, this is beautiful, but I also have one question, which I've noted down. I said, okay, so in today's world, practically, could you give me an example how you have balanced grace with accountability? Yes, right? Because how do we ensure that? But ensuring that, yes, we are compassionate, we understanding, but we don't compromise the high standards and results that are required from us. Because as you said, some people will come and pretend they're working. So how do you hold them accountable?
Correct. So, beautiful thing. Go back to the Bible. There is no one who is more accountable than our God, or who demands accountability from us than God. He's told us, do A, and I'll do B for you. If I say do A, as in, we cannot get to heaven by just behaving anyhow. There are certain things that are expected from us, and he does not compromise on that. So, as a Christian leader, let the standards be set very clear from day one. Take the time to train your people, give them the necessary resources, and now demand accountability from them.
Okay.
You are being kind to people by ensuring that that sales guy you are asking to go from the office to, let's say, Accra to go and chase that customer. Look at that poor man's shoe that he's wearing. The soles are almost worn out from walking. You will sit in the comfort of your office. You are giving extra fuel, yet you will not even give him 100 cedis to say that and go and chase that customer. But you expect the poor guy to go through Churchill, go through all the rest of Accra. When he goes and he's not able to close that deal and he comes back, perhaps because when he got there, how he was even appearing, the front desk executive realized that Charlie, this one, he doesn't cut for me. And so blocked him from even going to see that empty who would have closed that door. That is not leading by grace. So give them all the necessary resources that you can possibly give them. Make sure you have trained them. Teach them how to fish before you ask them to go and bring you fish. That, I believe, is leading by grace. Let the standards be clear right from day one. This is what I expect from you. I am going to help you by training you. I'm going to help you by giving you these resources. Go and give me results. Even the God that we serve, he says when a tree is not bearing fruit, cut it down. But make sure that you have given it the right soil, you have watered it, you've given it the right environment, then you can confidently say that this tree does not bear fruit and so I am cutting it down. So let us not think that because we're leading with grace, we will not demand accountability. Our source, if you're a Christian, is the Bible. And our God is one who demands accountability, but he does so in a compassionate way. That's it. Thank you.
Thank
Wow.
you.
That's great. Now, Nana Ansa Ado says, great presentation, Asantewaa. My question, can we say luck is linked to grace, as some do attribute their success and smooth path to luck? That's the question.
Okay. Yes, sometimes you have that is grace. That is grace is actually unmerited favor. And for a lot of us, where we find ourselves, sometimes it is not because you are better than the other person. And that is one thing that we should also know and remember every day. It helps you to stay humble. That today I have gotten that opportunity not because I am better than my subordinates, but it's just because grace has found me. Some of our subordinates may even have better education than we do. They may be more experienced than we do, but grace has found us. And that is because maybe we positioned ourselves better. But what got you to even position yourself better?
It's grace.
And so both for me goes hand in hand. Our God that we serve, in the right time will position all of us. But when we get there, let us know that it is just by grace. There is somebody who was more qualified than you are, somebody who can perform this role better than you can do. But today you've been given that mantle to deliver. When you do that, it helps you to stay humble. But don't go about your daily activities thinking that for everything that happens to you, it should just be luck. That, I believe, is not right. Prepare for it. work towards it. Make sure that you put in all the needed effort that you need to do on daily basis. And when that opportune time comes, which some of us will refer to as luck, you are prepared, and when you are put on that seat, you will not end up disgracing whoever decided to show grace or decided to give you luck. So they go hand in hand for me, but I believe that we must work towards it as well. Right.
Beautiful.
Great. Now, I mean, you mentioned it, and John C. Maxwell would say that luck is preparation plus opportunity. When you are not prepared, you cannot be lucky. So prepare, work hard, so that when the opportunity comes, you can thank God that is grace. But God also favors us in different ways, and sometimes things happen to us not because we are entitled to or we are the best for, but because God has just favored us. Now, I have a question. I mean, it's good that I want to lead by grace and I want to do everything, respect the people. But how do you create a culture within the environment, a culture that is rooted in grace, respect, and at the same time, high performance? You've shared a few things, but this time I'm looking at how do we infect the whole system so that it becomes a culture in the environment and not just me alone. Because if you are the only one trying to do this, sometimes within our environment, it becomes a bit challenging. So, what would you say? You talked about Kofi Amwabing and all that. If you want to share a bit more so that we have a culture that everybody understand that this is how it should be, because the environment is so toxic, like the way you described.
Okay, so what I would say is that it's easier when you are a decision maker,
Mm-hmm.
because then you get to make some decisions that would affect the culture. And a lot of the time, the culture has got to do with the tone at the top. If
Mm-hmm.
everyone in that office knows that in my workplace, if you disrespect a colleague, you will get punished for it. I don't think anyone would intentionally go out to disrespect someone. But if you, as a leader, you walk in and you talk to everybody anyhow you want, like they are your kids at home. Sometimes we don't even talk to our kids that way. Disrespect everyone. It would that toxic culture would go on. So when you are a leader, it becomes very easy and very simple. I happened to work at a place where the immediate supervisor that I was dealing with has something that I would refer to as a subtle narcissist. So one who appears very confident outside, but really and truly, he has a very controlling nature. And so when he says this is what must go on, that is it. The team, our views don't matter. When you do something and it is good, he would quickly jump and call his superiors and be the first to tell them about what the team has done and present it as if he was the one who brought the idea. This went on for a while until we got a new leader who was a boss over him. And the gentleman started talking about the fact that for him, he once worked in a place where, because he stood for what was right, his branch manager was always victimizing him. And at a point, he didn't even feel like going on in his career again. So, one thing he does not subscribe to is such attitude. And so, if any one of you feel that your bosses are treating you this way, let me know. Immediately, this gentleman who was exhibiting this character, we started seeing certain changes in him because people had been made examples. They had gone contrary to what the leader was saying and they got disgraced. And he will say that my head is not a chobos. So when he hears anything, when we come for team meetings, he will mention it. And I knew he was doing that to be able to break that toxic culture. And so as he kept hammering on it and acting on his words, people started changing. Those who could not stand it left to other departments, and the story started changing. So when we change the tone at the top, it trickles down. You may find some people who it will be difficult, but with those people, with time, the system will fish them out and they'll be out of the system. But if you find yourself at a place where you are not in a place of position, that also does not mean that you cannot lead with grace. You walk into an organization and you find the least person being the most influential person in the team. People prefer to go and talk to that person when they have challenges and ask for the person's opinion rather than going to their superiors, not because of anything, because that person leads with grace. So wherever you find yourself, it would become challenging if you are not in a place of position. But trust me, people notice. They notice these little things. And with time, the circle around you, either you affect them or people will start learning from you, because everyone loves to feel good. When you make them feel good, when you make them realize that, look, you're also human, same way I'm human and I care about you, genuinely care about you, it will start changing little by little, but that may take a longer time and be more challenging than when you are in a place of position. Hope I've been able to answer that well.
Yes, you have. Sarah, what sayest thou?
Yeah, indeed. I think what I loved actually is you underscoring the fact of us really living up to our values. And I heard you mention integrity, you mentioned respect, you mentioned humanity is a value. Yes, humanity. You mentioned as well being, now I've forgotten. I wrote all the, yeah.
So
Humility.
my personal, let me share my personal values and
Exactly.
what I subscribe to with my family. We call it RITA. R for respect, I for integrity, T for truth, and A for action.
Okay,
Right.
wonderful.
So that is how we call that at home. So when the boys are misbehaving and I say Rita, they understand what it means. Or if I ask, have you shown Rita? Someone outside our circle may not know. You may think it's a conversation that we're just having, but I'm just reinforcing the values. And once you do that as a leader, as a mother, as a father, you leave those values yourself. So you can look in you, find whatever would work for you, carve something catchy around it, but make sure that every day you don't tell your kids you are leaving integrity, and when somebody comes to knock at your door, you tell them that Kachen is a miniho. Tell him that I'm not around when you are around.
Yeah.
They won't hold that dear the way you want them to. So let's practice it. You don't have to go and tell people that my values are Rita. But when they deal with you on daily basis and they realize that you're one who shows respect, it tells in your action. Whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, you're treating that person with respect. You are holding dear to the truth at all times. And when actions have to be taken, you take them. People will notice that. They may not be able to clearly spell out what it is, but people will do notice, and that is the true way to live your mark.
Excellent. So
Wonderful,
values
wonderful.
great. This has been enriching, so enriching. I don't want it to end, but looking at the time, let me look and see whether there are any other questions in the chat. I don't see anything bad. More commendations saying, wow, from Shepherd. Queen Dot says, awesome. Shepherd says, grace again. And Shepherd again. Oh, he's the most contributed. Thank you for
Shepherd.
wonderful wisdom. Okay. So with that, Asantewaa, maybe we have to ask you for your closing remarks and the dessert.
Yep.
So my closing remarks would be that it takes a fellow human being to make another feel valued. Let's make sure that we treat people the way we want to be treated. It's very important. Let's stick to our values. And if you're a Christian, please go back to your source, which is the Bible. There's so many things in the Bible that will show you how to be able to lead with grace. Let's ask God for wisdom. It is not easy. It is not easy. But if you get intentional about it, I have gotten so intentional to the extent that these days I tell myself, if I have not had breakfast, I will not open my laptop. Because when work starts, it can get so tedious that sometimes before you lift your head from your machine and look up, it is already 4 p.m. So at least the first thing that I'll do for myself is to make sure that if nothing at all, I am taking that cup of tea just to be able to take care of myself. So let's get intentional with some of these things. And something that I did not mention is let's learn to say no. No to a lot of the unnecessary things that our society makes them feel so important. You know you are very tired. Yet, this one is pulling you here, this one is pulling you there. Please, prioritize and say no to some of these things. And you may feel guilty in the beginning, but as you continue to build this habit of saying no to things that are not really important, yes, they may be urgent, but are they important? And are you the only one who can do that? Delegate so that you can free up some time to make time for yourself. Because as I said earlier, you cannot pour from an empty cup. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very, very much. I believe let us all give a virtual round of applause to Asantewaa. That was indeed excellent. We need to balance ambition with faith and grace. We need to work the three together to become better leaders. Let us understand that the purpose of leadership is to add value to others. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And if you try, you won't get any coffee to drink. Thank you so very much, Asantewaa. And I want to thank all of you who made it, especially those of you who asked questions and made comments. Shepherd being the lead. Thank you all very much for making it. And we want to thank the team at CTL, Gideon, Vivian, Priscilla, Hawa, Elizabeth, Joy, and everybody for the support and making it possible that every Saturday for the last 5 years, we are able to bring you the leadership platform. Sarah.
Yeah, until then, a big thank you and wishing everybody a lovely, lovely Sunday, the rest of the evening for this Saturday. And we'll see you again next week. Same time, same place.
Same time next week until we bring you another great lesson from a great leader. Have a very, very good week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, do that now.